Hey there, movie fans. Welcome to the Blues of April 2014. This is going to be part 2 of my DVD and Blu-ray update. Part 1, of course, I show you that huge stack of standard definition titles. Now I'm going to show you a stack of high definition titles. It's not as big as the DVD stack, but it is a fair amount of Blu-rays that I have here. But first up, I'd like to give a shout out to a YouTuber named Old Man Beak. A very nice guy, and he's also a big fan of the Halloween franchise. And I believe that 99.99% of this movie community is a fan of Halloween. So for that alone, you have to subscribe to his channel. His Halloween collection is absolutely fantastic, and yeah, subscribe to him. Show some support, and the link is below. Old Man Beak, go check him out. Okay, now let me show you the Blu-rays that I've gotten over the month of April. First up is The Agony and the Ecstasy, a truly magnificent film. It stars Charlton Heston as Michelangelo and Rex Harrison as Pope Julius II. In this film, the Pope gives Michelangelo the assignment to create the ceiling fresco of the Sistine Chapel. And this had been on my wish list for a long time, or at least the DVD was, but I never got around picking it up, and I'm glad I didn't, because the transfer on this Blu-ray is absolutely amazing. It is without a doubt one of the most impressive Blu-ray transfers I have ever seen. Yeah, truly magnificent film, and I'm glad that I finally have this in my collection, The Agony and the Ecstasy. Next is The Greatest Story Ever Told, which is an epic film about Jesus Christ, and saw this on Easter Day, by the way. I'm kind of like that. I like to watch movies on certain holidays, like horror movies on Halloween and Christmas movies on Christmas. And I'm not religious or anything like that. I wasn't raised by the Bible, but I've always been fascinated by these biblical stories and these biblical movies, and I think the reason of that is because of my father. When he was a kid, he saw these biblical spectacle films like the Ten Commandments and Samson and Delilah and Ben-Hur on the big screen. Well, Ben-Hur wasn't really a story from the Bible, but it does have a biblical theme to it. And I guess he wanted to share that cinematic experience with me when I was younger, and he showed me those movies. And even though I've never seen them on the big screen, I've only seen them on the small screen, but it did make a big impact on me. And this is something like that. And it's an all-star cast, epic film. You have Max von Sydow as Jesus, and there's a lot of familiar faces. Charlton Heston, who plays John the Baptist, Martin Landau, Angelina Lansbury, Roddy McDowell, Donald Pleasance, who plays Satan, Sidney Poitier, Claude Rains, Telly Savalas. Oh yeah, John Wayne. He plays a very short role as a Roman soldier somewhere near the end of the film. I thought this was a beautiful film. I don't know if this is the best film about Jesus Christ, but I thought it was beautiful. Okay, next are 3 Blu-rays from Germany. I believe these were 3 for 20 euros. And the first one is another epic film about Jesus Christ, King of Kings. I've seen this a long time ago, but I still need to revisit it someday. Open Range, magnificent western by Kevin Costner. The shootout at the end is one of the best that I have seen, and the transfer looks absolutely beautiful. And the last one is Wild Wild West, which I've always enjoyed, to be honest. I know that many people don't really like this movie very much, but I enjoyed it, and I think the the giant mechanical spider is a good piece of cinema magic there. So those were the Blu-rays from Germany. Next is the Giorgio Moroder version of Metropolis. Now what he has done with this version is he added some music into it from these artists, and you might consider it blasphemy, but his intentions were good. I mean, in the 1970s and the early 80s, Metropolis was pretty much forgotten, and he wanted to bring it back to everyone's attention. And he thought the best way to do that is to put, music to it from these artists who were popular at that time. And I have to say, I have not seen this version yet, but I am curious to it, so I will check it out very soon. The next one is Trends by Danny Boyle. I haven't seen this one yet either, but I like Danny Boyle, and he makes some very good films. So looking forward to checking this out. I got this very cheap, by the way. It was only €6.50, so could not pass it up. Next is Wake in Fright, an Australian film directed by a Canadian, Ted Kotcheff, who also did First Blood, the first Rambo movie. This was an extraordinary film, absolutely extraordinary, and also the performances were fantastic by all the actors, but especially Donald Pleasence. I thought Donald Pleasence really stole the show, if you ask me. But there's a little bit of a controversy around this film, because it has a sequence where you see these the characters hunting down and killing kangaroos, and that is actual kangaroo killings, what you see. So it was very hard to watch, to be honest. Now what Kotcheff has did, he went along with a group of hunters, and they went out back and really killed kangaroos. They actually done that every night back in that time. So it's a very disturbing sequence, I have to say. But the thing is, thanks to this film, the Australian government has decided to stop the slaughter of kangaroos. The kangaroos, the reason why they were killed is because they used the meat and carcasses for the American dog food industry. They were looking for this film for a long time. I think Anthony, what's his name? Anthony Buckley, I believe it is, yeah. Anthony Buckley, who's the editor of this film, he's now a movie producer, and he was looking for the negatives of this film for over a decade, but he could not find it until 2004. He found the negatives, a box full of negatives from this film, in a warehouse in Pittsburgh, and he was right on time too, because they were about to destroy that whole box. And I thought it was an extraordinary film. I don't think this is everyone's cup of tea, especially with the kangaroo killing scene. But it's a treasure. It really is a treasure that that was lost for many years, and somebody finally located it and dig it up and dust it off, and now it shines like a museum piece. Hey, how do you like that? That was not bad, if I say so myself. Wake in Fright. Okay, next up is Smokey and the Bandit. Finally got it. Finally got around picking it up. I did the contest recently, and I asked, what is your favorite movie of 1977? And this movie was mentioned a couple of times, and it made me realize that I really should be getting it. There's another film from 1977 that I still need to get, which is Orca, the Killer Whale, but it's still only available on DVD, and I'm waiting for the Blu-ray. I'm hoping that they will release it on Blu-ray. But anyway, yeah, it's still a great fun movie, and I also hope that they will release part 2. I don't care about part 3, by the way. I thought part 3 was absolutely terrible. Burt Reynolds has a very short appearance in part 3, and then in the rest of the movie, they use this amateur who happens to look like Burt Reynolds, and I mean, it was such an abomination. Part 3, it was one of the worst sequels I have ever seen. But anyway, Smokey and the Bandit. And I also got Young Guns, which was very cheap on Amazon, by the way. Yeah, very good film. And like Smokey, I'm hoping that part 2 will get a Blu-ray release as well. Because honestly, I think part 2 was better than this one. And there's been a lot of movies made about Billy the Kid, like The Left-Handed Gun with Paul Newman, for example. But in my opinion, Emilio Estevez gives the best portrayal of Billy the Kid that I have seen. Okay, next is a British found footage horror movie called The Borderlands. I saw a review of a well-known British critic, Mark Kermode, and he spoke very highly of this film. And he said that the final 15 minutes were very intense and very scary, and that really piqued my curiosity. So I got this Blu-ray from Germany. The UK only has this movie on DVD. And I sat down, I watched it, and the first hour or so were, well, there was nothing really happening. You see some objects moving, and you hear some scary sounds and all, but nothing really special. But I was really looking forward to the final act. And when the movie was finished, I was like, is this it? Is this the intense, scary final act that Mark Kermode was talking about? I didn't find it scary and intense at all. It was claustrophobic. I have to give you that, but I did not have the same feeling that Mark Kermode had. So I was really, really disappointed with this one. It's not like that I like to buy movies based on good reviews. I hardly ever do that. But he made it sound so interesting. He really made me curious about it. So that's why I grabbed it, and now I feel that I just wasted my time on it. The final act of the Blair Witch Project, for example. Now that was intense and scary. Or at least to me. I know that many people don't like that movie very much, but I thought it was fantastic. And also the final act of Wreck, the Spanish movie, was fantastic. And the last 10 minutes of Cannibal Holocaust, that was a brilliant piece of filmmaking. And those three are really my favorite found footage horror movies. Blair Witch, Wreck, and Cannibal Holocaust. And this is nowhere near that good. Okay, now I got two steelbooks to show you, and the first one is Grand Hotel. A wonderful ensemble piece with these these actors who were very popular at the time, especially Greta Garbo. I don't think there was a bigger star than she. Joan Crawford was just starting out, and you have the Barrymore brothers, John and Lionel. They also had a sister who was into acting, Ethel Barrymore. And of course there is a Drew Barrymore, who was the granddaughter of John Barrymore. But I thought it was a wonderful film. It's considered a milestone in cinema history. And the steelbook, I got this from Zavi. This was on sale, and I got this for under €10. No, oh yeah, it well, I mean, I did got it under €10, but I also got a 10% off discount with it. But yeah, wonderful film, Grand Hotel. And also got this from Zavi as well. It was also on sale, City of God. You can see my number up there, 2051. I believe it is limited to 5,000, if I'm correct. But this is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant Brazilian film. Absolutely brilliant. I've never seen the sequel, by the way, City of Men. I still need to check that one out. But yeah, beautiful steelbook, by the way. This is all embossed, and so are those people here. Yeah, brilliant film, City of God. Next is this very nice edition of Pacific Rim. You know, it does look like a cheap plastic material, but I have to say it looks very nice. And the disc at the back, as you can see, it has 3 discs there, all on top of each other. You have the 3D Blu-ray, and then you have the regular Blu-ray over here, and then the last one is the DVD. Yeah, it looks very nice. I think it looks cool in one of my display cabinets. Next is the late Mizoguchi box set. You know, I had my eye on this for some time, but I thought, you know, I better get it now before it's sold out, because it is limited to 2,000, as you can see here. And this contains, you know, his last 8 films, and it's a really beautiful release. You know, some of these movies were released by the Criterion Collection. I believe this one was released by the Criterion Collection, Ugetsu Monogatari, Monogatari, and this one as well was released by Criterion, Sanso Dayu. But you have this very thick booklet, quite heavy, very thick. There's a lot of information, a lot of pictures of these movies. Really, really high quality stuff here. Never seen one Mizoguchi film, I have to admit, but I am very much looking forward to checking them out. They look absolutely beautiful. I don't know from which movie I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start with Ugetsu. I think that is his most, you know, well-known film. Nice hat. He has some behind-the-scene pictures here. Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. And of course you have the Blu-rays. Each Blu-ray has 2 movies on them, you can see. Released by the Masters of Cinema series, you know, the UK's answer to the Criterion Collection. And this is Ugetsu. I think I'm gonna watch this one first. I heard some great things about this one. So this is a beautiful, beautiful box set. And I'm very happy to have this. And last but not least, I also have The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. This is, of course, part of the gift set that I have. Let me show you the statues here. The dwarf statues. I mean, look at that. This is really beautiful. And they're also very heavy as well. Now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to get this, because I thought that this could be the same gift set that they will release later this year with the extended version. I don't know why I thought of that, but I'm guessing that the extended gift set will have a different statue, or at least I'm hoping that it will have a different statue. But this looks very nice. And the movie, I really loved the film. I loved the first one as well, but this was I enjoyed this even more, to be honest with you. This has the 3D Blu-ray. Oh, by the way, here's a code for the digital ultraviolet if someone's interested. This is the American version, by the way. So I don't know if you're from another country. I don't know if you can use that as well. Here's the 3D Blu-rays, and then you have the regular Blu-ray. There's the special featured Blu-ray, and here's the DVD. And I'm very much looking forward to the third and final installment of The Hobbit. You know, I'm very curious to see how it's going to end. So yeah, beautiful. So that was pretty much it for my Blu-rays of April 2014. I ordered the digibook of Sorcerer, you know, the William Friedkin movie, but I still haven't received that yet. So I'm gonna show you that in my next update. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.